Alright, so I've had a few parts where I talked about the best fruit and the best fighting style in Bloxfruits. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about the best swords that you should use. Now, I'm gonna do a top 10 of what swords I think are the best and which ones you should definitely use in PvP. Now, I got a variety of swords and I've been a swordsman for a long time now. I'm currently using a skilled build, but we're not gonna be talking about that. I'm just gonna be talking about my experience of every single sword in here. So let's start. Coming in at number 10, we have the Hollow Scythe. Yeah, the Hollow Scythe is actually not that bad if you know how to play with it. It is actually a pretty decent sword, and it is like crazy in PvP. The damage on the sword is like crazy too. It's just that you really need to know how to play with this. Sometimes it is hard to control. Your build has to comply with the sword. Like if you play a random build, like let's say you're playing Magma with Hollow Scythe, that will just not work. So it doesn't really work with every single fruit, but still the sword is incredibly overpowered. And it looks cool. Honestly, matter of fact, this is one of the most cool looking swords or scythes in Bloxfruit. It really deserves its place at the top 10. So coming at number 9, we have Scythe. Honestly, this sword was like so bad you couldn't even have like a proper 1v1, but they changed it for the better, so it's like way better now. It is overpowered and it does crazy amounts of damage. You just really need to like figure yourself out with this basically. It is an attack which literally launches your enemy in the air, and it is just crazy good in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to be talking about Wando, as I think Wando still continues to be mid. It's just not really that good, honestly. So the next sword I'm going to be talking about is the Soul Cane. Now, you might be wondering,
Anyways, why do you add such a bad sword into the top 10 of the swords tier list?
well, basically, Soul Cane is a very good sword to train your aim with. So basically, this makes it crazy overpowered. You basically know how to play with this sword, and it really helps you out a lot throughout the PvP. I'm currently training with this, and this really like trains my PvP. I've gotten so much better with swords just because I use Soul Cane more often. Now, this sword is basically an aim trainer. Like, you could basically do everything you want. Stunning your enemy is just good, man. I'd really recommend you playing with the sword if you want to progress throughout your PvP. So the next sword I'm going to be talking about is the Yama sword. Now, the Yama sword is actually not that bad of a sword. The main fighting style that is used with this is Eclaw. This is being like used so much, and I've seen a lot of people play with this. This is definitely a very good sword. The rework didn't really change it, it's just a visual rework, but it still looks very good, and it's being used like pretty much a lot. This sword definitely deserves to be at number 7, but there's even crazier swords in my opinion. Right after Yama comes Midnight Blade. Now, Midnight Blade is actually a pretty overpowered sword. You just need to know how to play with this sword. When update 20 dropped, it was so overpowered because nobody knew how to play against this, but now you basically know how to Kentrick this. I don't know why they made this so Kentrickable, but it is still a pretty decent sword. I really like this. It even matches my avatar for some reason, which is pretty cool too. This sword definitely deserves being up there. I really like this sword. It's good. The next sword I'm going to be talking about is the Dragon Trident, as the Dragon Trident is literally like the meta nowadays. I feel like the Dragon Trident couldn't be any better. This is just extremely overpowered. The AoE is basically crazy, and a lot of my videos I like dislike the sword as people literally spam it, but other than that, this sword definitely, like, the rework is crazy. Okay, it used to be so bad before the rework, but now they made it like extremely overpowered. The damage is also like very insane for some reason. They just made it crazy overpowered. By the way, did I tell you that if you like make it up there, it always can breaks and it stuns your enemy? Yeah, it's just crazy overpowered. Don't even like talk about this, man. It's just insane. So the next sword we're gonna be talking about is the Shark Anchor. Now, the Shark Anchor is pretty much crazy. It's like very similar to the Dragon Trident. It's like being used by so many people. It has a lot of like can breaks. It's just so overpowered. The range is also insane. Like, I can hit people from that afar, you know, and it pulls your enemy always. So it's like pretty cool, you know. Damage is also pretty high. So if you have like strong grip on Shark Anchor and then play like fruit stats, bro, this is like a banger. We're getting into the final one, and the next sword I'm going to be talking about is the Triple Katana and the Dark Blade. I'm actually just gonna put them both in like one place, you know. Want to know why I put like both at the same place? As like they're both, I don't know, for me they're just both are like pretty much similar to like the strength. I'm lagging. So I think that the Dark Blade and the True Triple Katana are basically on the same height. I'm just gonna put them both in like one place. I feel like both of them are just extremely overpowered. They're strong. The only thing that is like making the True Triple Katana a little bit better than the Dark Blade is the fact that you have like a bug. There's a bug with Dragon Hurricane. So basically when I was fighting CP0, right, I figured this out and they told me it's a bug. Like if you have your X attack like that and are behind that tornado, you will be, no matter how long you're away from it, you will be always pulled back, as it's a bug. The range basically goes like very far. This bug literally makes it like so overpowered for no reason. The next sword I'm gonna be talking about is the Fox Lamp. The Fox Lamp is crazy, okay? This sword is literally, bro, I don't know who made this. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, adding the Fox Lamp, bro. It's just so overpowered for no reason. I've seen so many people like literally, oh, it's just insane, man. I really can't say much to this. Like the damage is insane. Imagine you have Burning Blessing on this, bro. You can M1 people, bro. This, like, the first attack stuns your enemy. You can do everything while he's stunned. You can stun him more. You can attack him. You can deal more damage. If you have God Human, your enemy is basically good to go. When I mean go, I meant that literally, like, die. You got the Infernal Firestorm, which literally, like, it teleports you to your enemy, bro. It's just insane, man. This sword definitely deserves to be at, like, top 3, bro. Next sword I'm gonna be talking about is the Cursed Dual Katana. Now, you might be wondering, Readyvex,
why do you think that the Cursed Dual Katana is this overpowered?
Now, let me tell you one thing. The Cursed Dual Katana was always like one of the best swords in the whole game. Other swords cannot come close to this. And now you might be wondering why. This sword basically has everything you need. It has crazy damage. It has everything crazy. There's nothing really much to say to this. It's just insane. It was the meta before update 20 and still is. If you're using this, yeah, you snipe your enemies. It has crazy combo potential. You can combo basically with every single sword in the game. And it was the meta and it's still the meta in my opinion. But it still doesn't come close to the first sword that I'm going to be talking about. So as you already know, if you've been like watching me for such a long time, you will definitely know which sword I'm going to be talking about now. The sword that everybody loves to hate and I love to love is the Spiky Trident. Now the Spiky Trident is basically like the best sword in this game. There's no other sword that tops the sword, okay? This sword is basically like the best sword. Now, I'm not even like being biased about this, okay? This sword basically is everything you want. You can push your enemy, you can pull your enemy, you can play the sword with every single fruit in the game. You can combo with every single fruit in the game. It has more combo potential than any other sword in the game. The only downside about the sword is that you can trick it easily, but other than that, the damage is insane. So if you want to play with like sword stats, bro, this is like crazy, okay? It is definitely in my opinion the best sword in the game, and not only from me, like other people would definitely agree when I say this. A lot of people play this sword and it's my main sword. Let me know what y'all think about the sword in the comments down below and about like the top 10 swords. These are the swords that you need to use, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.